Good morning. Hey, good morning. Wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure I got it. I'm trying to make sure I got it. All right, y'all. Hold on. Let me come back to y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Wait, hold on. Hold on. What did I just do?
You invited me in. Be
Oh,
with you, my friend.
hey. Well, look. I'm trying to do things this morning and didn't even know I did that. Didn't even know I did it. Hold on. Hold on. Look, y'all, I done invited somebody into the live already this morning on a whim. Look, trying to make sure I'm good. How are you this morning, Bamboo?
I'm wonderful, my brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So I'm
It's good
going.
to hear.
She said what?
I said that's good to hear.
Indeed, indeed. So I did it by accident, Bamboo. So I'm gonna take you out, but I'm glad that you came in this morning, and you're having a good morning. And we're gonna have a good morning on Tight in the Morning with a good old topic this morning. Yeah, the good old topic
All
this
right.
morning.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, nothing happens by accident. God intended it.
There you go. There you go, right there. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Look, y'all show me some love this morning. I got Bamboo on with me this morning. Y'all show me some thumbs up. Y'all show me some hearts. Tick tock, tippy, tip, tip, tap the middle of that screen. Blow those hearts up. Do all the stuff that need to be done. All right, Bamboo, you have anything for us this morning before I let you go?
Hey, Tight. Now, I would love to put a shameless plug in for my book again.
Okay.
So the name of my book is Finding Your Mustard Seed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a devotional, and it kind of talks about, well, it doesn't kind of, it talks about how I relied on my faith when I was diagnosed in 2015
Mm-hmm.
with a severe post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
It's a wonderful book. It's getting great reviews.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, if you had any kind of traumas in your life and you just, you know, you need some motivation, it's a great book. You can find it on Amazon.
Okay.
It's called Finding My Mustard Seed,
Finding
52
my
Week
mustard
Walk
seed.
of Faith.
Okay,
Yeah.
indeed, Bamboo. Well, I thank you for that. Let me ask you this. So, were you in the military, or is this the book
So
about? Go ahead.
I started out. So I live in Baltimore.
Okay.
Early on, I got involved in some gang activity early in life,
Okay.
but by the grace of God, I was able to turn that around later on, and I became a firefighter. And
Right.
for
Firefighter. Gotcha.
25 years, yeah, for 25 years, here in the big city of Baltimore,
Okay. Well, thank you for your
I've
service.
seen it all. Thank you, brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen it all, and unfortunately, we take stuff in every day, and
Mhm.
we got to put it somewhere, and we tend to pack all of that trauma in the back of our minds and think that you know, um, it's done with, and lo and behold, it reared its ugly head, and showed me that it hadn't gone anywhere. But by the grace of God, I've been in counseling, gotten
Okay.
treatment, and
Okay.
my doctor suggested that I start to journal, and I wrote this book, and it's been a blessing to me, and all the people that have read it so far. They feel the same way. Like, wow,
Okay.
I didn't even, people didn't even know that they were going through undiagnosed post traumatic stress disorder,
Right.
but it
Right.
exposed things. Yeah. So
Okay.
now they're seeking the help that they need. So
Right. Well,
God works all things out.
I'm sorry. Say again.
I say God works all things out.
Indeed, indeed. And so, just like you said, nothing happens by accident, right? This is not just something that happened. I clicked on that for a reason. So, do me a favor, Bamboo. Put in your link into the comments. Let the people know how they can get your book. I am a Army veteran myself, and I do understand how that is. A lot of times, we think that because you didn't go to war or something like that, that you can't have post-traumatic stress syndrome or have anxiety and things like that. So I think your book is great. But do go ahead and put the link down in the comments, and you all go out and check that out. And you said it's on Amazon, so
Yes.
you're able to get it on Amazon. But much love and peace to you on that, and then also on your journey. I know that you wrote the book and you're going through some things, but just on your journey, because we all stay on this journey of healing ourselves and, and doing things like that. So thumbs up to you. Peace and blessings to you. Go ahead and put that into the comments. And thank you for, me pressing pressing your name and bringing you in. And thank you for being able to talk about your book and things this morning.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I really enjoy your platform. I'm
Well,
here every Thursday.
Okay.
I stumbled across you one day, and I just enjoy your energy, man.
Okay. Well, thank you.
We are a lot of we're very transparent people,
Mm-hmm.
and we're lovers of people. I see that in you. I see me in you, and I really enjoy your platform, man.
Well, thank you.
You keep a good show going, and you're doing the thing, man. You're doing the thing.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
To be in the same circle with you.
How about that? Come on. How about that? Right? That's what we do. We stay in the circle. You could come to part of this village, this tribe, this gang, and this chosen family. That's what you do. Indeed. Okay. But I appreciate you, Bamboo. Take care. Be blessed. And make sure you put that into the comments, right? So that we can go ahead and check you out and be good with that.
Yes, I will do just that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
You take care. Right. Peace and blessings.
Great day.
You too.
Hey, give me one good one real quick. Good morning.
Good morning. I got my cup right here. I'm about to give you a whole lot of them. Okay. Take care.
Good stuff.
All right.
Okay, bro.
Bye. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all. So y'all know what? Things happen. And sometimes you just got to go with what it is. You know what I mean? So I was tapping, saying hi to everybody this morning, and I tapped on Bamboo's name, and he came up on the screen, came into the live. Look, y'all, we don't run from it. We don't do it. Everything happens for a reason. That's what I believe, right? So we good with that. Shout out to you, Bamboo. Hope everything works out for you. Make sure you do that. Let's see here. Hey, good morning, Wayne. Good morning, Dola. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, covered by God's grace. Good morning. She said, good morning, Titan Capri and everyone. Yes, but I love all those O's and R's and INGs. Y'all with me on that? All right. Hey, Loretta. Good morning. Loretta said, good morning, new follower watching from Florida, 772. Come on, Florida. Come on, Florida. That's what I'm talking about. Good morning. Hey, good morning, AJ. AJ says, good morning, brother. I'm late, but I'm here. That's all right. That's all right. We already know better late than never, right? And you're not really late because the show took a little turn this morning, but it's a good one. Hey, good morning, Aaron. Is it Aaron or is it Aaron? Because, they call me, when we say down here in the South, we say Aaron, but is it Aaron? All right. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning. What does your shirt say? Oh, my shirt says, do me a favor. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I got my shirt says, do me a favor and stop talking. look, Jenny, my shirt says, do me a favor and stop talking. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna show this to y'all real quick. Okay. It said, do me a favor and stop talking. Hold on, y'all out there in the other lands and in the lands. Do me a favor. Right, hold on. Let me go all the way down. Do me a favor and stop talking. Do me a favor and stop talking. That part right there. That's what you do. Look, y'all. Y'all got to wear the shirt so you can make sure that the people know what you're talking about. Okay? That's what we got to do. Hey, good morning, good sir. Good morning, sir. I love the frames. Oh, thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that. All right. Hey, come on. Hey, big baby. Good morning. Good morning to all of you all this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Look, this is what I like. This is what I love. Okay. Dola says, seriously, need me one. Okay. Look, this is an old school shirt. I got this from, I think, Walmart, like back in the day. Like it's an old school shirt. Like I've been doing spring cleaning and I've been bringing out all the old school shirts and stuff like that I have. All right. All right, TikTok, y'all tippity tip tap the middle of that screen. YouTube, Facebook, X, Insta, Podbean. Y'all show me some thumbs up. Show me some hearts. Show me some love. Y'all like, y'all follow, y'all subscribe. Y'all do all of that good stuff. Y'all with me this morning? All right, y'all, this morning. Come on. Hey, good morning. Hey, Kale, good morning. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning, Willie. Good morning. Y'all see all those O's and R's and INGs? I love it. I love it. Hold on one second, y'all. Because, this morning, I had a thought this morning and I was like, I'm going to do this and do that. Hey, Q, good morning. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Look, let me tell y'all a little something. When you hold on, let's see what we got. Okay, there we go. There we go. We in there this morning. All right, y'all. So look, this is what I'm gonna take these glasses off because I think that they kind of like giving me a little bit of a glare, and I want to make sure that I'm good. Hold on, y'all, because I feel like I washed my face this morning, but I don't feel like I put on any protection. You know what I mean? Y'all know what kind of protection I'm talking about, though, right? That ashy protection, okay? y'all not gonna get me this morning. Y'all not gonna do it. Look. I'm looking into the camera. I'm looking into. All right, y'all. Ooh, yeah, I feel so much better. I got me a nice little coat on. Yes, don't it look good? See, that way I don't ass shot on y'all this morning. Okay, I don't do it. All right, y'all. All right. We good. We up in here. So good morning. Good morning. Look, all right, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know it's Thursday. It's Titan in the morning, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? Y'all come out and y'all come check me out. Y'all tell a friend. Y'all let somebody know that I am in. Y'all come on out. We're going to have a good time. This is what we're going to do. And I got my cup. Y'all got y'all cup this morning? Y'all see it says my name on the cup, right? It says my name on the cup. What does it say? It says that the best speaker get the biggest mug. Y'all know? Okay, y'all. Somebody said, well, Titan, you're not going to have your own mug on here. Well, this is my own mug. My mama got me this mug. So for right now, until I get my next shipment in, right, I'm going to go with this mug right here. This is the mug that I'm using in the morning. It's 30 ounces, y'all. Hold on. I want to say it again. Y'all saw the look I made? It's 30 ounces. Yeah. Woo, good morning. Let me tell y'all, y'all got to be able to do what you got to do in the mornings, right? Have yourself a good time. All right, y'all, let's do it this morning. Welcome in. I see you over there, TikTok. Y'all keep on tapping, tip, tapping. Tell a friend, like the live, share the live, become a follower, do all that good stuff, right? Send me whatever you're going to send me. Nothing is too small, okay? And then look here, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Podbean, Instagram, wherever else I'm at. I don't know where I'm at now. All right, y'all come in. Show me some thumbs up. Show me some hearts. Show me some love. Y'all tell a friend. So this morning, right? This morning on this Thursday, my topic is the recipe of life. Oh, let's talk about it this morning. The recipe of life, right? The recipe of life. Come on. Y'all grab your cups. Ooh, wait a minute. Let me do that one more time. Hold on. Oh, because it's a sip and not a slurp. Look. We got to make sure that we in this morning, okay? The recipe of life. Let me sit back just a little bit. There we go. The recipe of life, right? So we're going to talk about it. Y'all know I got a story. So I did this topic probably about 2 years ago, I think, maybe. And I was talking about how I like to bake cakes. So my grandmother used to be the baker in the family, right? And my grandmother always made sure that she had these 7-Up cakes that she did, right? Okay, Bamboo Time, I'll pull up to the table and let's get our eat on. That part right there. So my grandmother used to always make these cakes, right? And family famous, right? Everybody would ask her to make these cakes. And so my grandmother has been gone for 2 years now. And I sometimes think about the recipe, right? And so I'm going to talk about the recipe of life, but let's start with this story right here. So my grandmother was teaching me how to bake these cakes and the ingredients that I needed and all of this stuff like that. So, and we're doing it from scratch. We're doing it homemade. It's not something out of a box. It's straight eggs, butter, sugar, extract, all of those things, right? Flour, all of that stuff. So we're doing it. And so my grandmother was like, oh, well, I want you to do it this way. And this is what the recipe says, right? Now, this is my grandmother's recipe, but I was going to do it my own way, right? So she was like, you put all these ingredients in, 3 cups of this, 3 cups of that, and do. And I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pause right here, y'all, because I didn't put the topic into the cup this morning. Y'all hold me accountable. Y'all hold me accountable because, okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me. Thank you. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, yay, good morning to you. All right, y'all, I got my cup. So we're going to take the topic and we're going to sprinkle it into the cup this morning, okay? So we're going to sprinkle the topic, the recipe of life. We're going to sprinkle it into the cup this morning. And then we're going to take a sip out of it. Y'all ready? Uh-huh. Ooh. Ooh. Wait a minute. Hold on. I just wanted another chance to go ahead on the sip. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, yes, sir. The recipe of life. Ooh, that sip was good. Look, y'all, I am really tripping on the sip this morning. Okay? No. It is a sip and not a slurp. It may look like a slurp. It may sound like one. It may even feel like one. But here in Texas, that's how we sip. On Titan in the morning, that's how we sip. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Indeed. So good morning, because that's a sip and not a slurp. Yes, indeed. It is a sip and not a slurp. You feel it how you feel it. But over here, everything is big in Texas. It's a sip. All right, y'all. So my grandmother had this recipe for this 7-Up cake, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make this 7-Up cake. And she was like, okay, well, let me show you how to make it. And this is what you do. You follow the recipe to the T, this and this and that. And I said, okay, then. So I'm in the kitchen with her and she doing it. And I see her doing it. She not really measuring because she's been doing it for so long. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like that. Not a problem. So it's my turn to make the cake, right? And I go in and I'm putting them in and da. So my grandmother said, I want you to put the eggs in one at a time and mix them one at a time. Do not put all the eggs in at the same time. Well, here I am. I'm smarter than the average person. I said, okay, well, I'm going to put the eggs in pretty much at the same time. My cake did not turn out right. It did not turn out right. Now, look, y'all, some people will say, well, Titan, it really don't matter if you put the eggs in, but when you're making something homemade, when something is not instant, when it's made with love, there's a way to make it, right? And it you can tell by the texture or the denseness, or it's something about that, right? And so I didn't understand it in the beginning because that's what my grandmother was saying. I saw her slave and I was like, well, I'm not finna slave, over this here like this. I'm finna do this and do that, right? You know what I'm saying? And then, hey, good morning. Oh, it's not, hey, Nana Hen. Nana Hen is on Jumping Jehoshaphat. Okay, that's your backup. Welcome in, Nana Hen. I don't know what's going on with this piece of hair right here, y'all. All right. So I go and I make this cake, right? And I put all the eggs in at the same time. And I'm doing this, and the cake goes in the oven, and then the cake doesn't taste like hers. It doesn't feel like hers, right? And I said, well, what the heck is going on? Why didn't it? And she said, you put all them eggs in at the same time, didn't you? And I was like, how you know? How you know? It's the recipe of life, right? So my grandmother was teaching me a recipe, but she was teaching me a recipe of life. She was telling me that you can't rush everything. You can't load everything into the recipe at the same time. There is a flow. There's a way that you introduce these things and then you mix them in. Anything that happens like this can be traumatic, right? It can throw you off your game. It can change the consistency of the cake. Who knew? Right? Who knew? So today we're going to talk about the recipe of life. Okay, Bamboo, trust the process. Trust the process. A lot of times what we do is we don't trust the process. It's the recipe of life. It's a recipe for a reason. You know how to make a cake, right? And some of you that don't bake don't know. We know that there's flour, we know there's sugar, we know that there's butter, we know that there's eggs, right? And we know that you can flip it. There's extract. You know that there's 7-Up, because it's a 7-Up cake. You can put 7-Up in it. And over the years, I have tweaked the recipe to fit me. However, the base is still the same. It's homemade, it's handmade, and I am putting those ingredients in. I got those ingredients burnt into my retina. I know what it is, like off the back of my hand. However, I know how to put it together. You with me? It's the recipe of life. You got to understand what the recipe is. So let's go back and let's start at the beginning. I want to make this 7-Up cake. I want to make my life great, right? Because here's the thing, right? I'm going to bake this cake, but I didn't bake the cake for it to be nasty. I baked the cake for y'all to be like, oh my God, like what's happening? You feel what I'm saying? And so a lot of times what we do in life with the recipe, we want to skip things. We don't want to put the oven on the temperature it should be. We want to change it to a whole nother temperature because we want to get it done faster. The recipe of life. You have been introducing things into this recipe of yours, this life recipe that don't need to be there. Or you've introduced too much of it to your life. Oh. The recipe of life. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I said. What we do is we always want to follow a recipe. So we see the recipe. We see it out there in life. We see it. Okay, so this is what I know that I need, but I don't want to do it that way because this is mine and I'm going to do it this way, right? There has to be a base. There has to be a foundation. There has to be a solid foundation in that. So here it is. Picture it. Atlanta, 2020, 2019, 2018, 19. I'm going to go visit a good friend of mine, Ron, God rest his soul, that's no longer here, but I'm going to go visit a friend of mine, and they always loved when I would bake the cakes. So I'm at the house, at his house, and we having fun, and I got a little drink, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm over there baking the cake like I normally would do, right? But the reality of it is that I'm not doing it like I normally do it because I'm not fully there, right? I'm a little tipsy. I'm a little doing this. Baby, if I tell you that cake came all the way out that pan and then flopped, bloop, sunk in. Came out the pan and sunk in. I ain't never had that happen before. I don't care where I'm at. Different ovens got different temperatures and stuff like that. But the recipe, me executing the recipe was always the same. And at this particular time, it was not. So I was sitting here saying to myself, what? And they laughed at me because that has never happened before. And then I said, oh no, I will never do that again. So you let me know if you need that. Hey, Keisha, good morning. Hey, good morning, Keisha. Good. I love all of them O's and R's and INGs. Let me see it again. Look at all those O's and R's and INGs. Yes. So I said, I will never do that again. So now when I go places, y'all want a cake, I'm either bringing it with me or I'm going to bake it as soon as I get there when I'm in my right mind. You feel me? Because I'm sitting up here having fun, doing all this good stuff like that, like I normally do. Because we out here, we having fun. We're on a little vacay. We doing what we do. Baby, let me tell y'all something. The recipe of life. I had to make sure that I was following the recipe. I wasn't following it the way that I should have been following it. And a lot of times what we do in the recipe of life, we put things into the recipe that don't call, the recipe does not call for that thing. Y'all with me? Hey, Jasmine, good morning. Hey, Willie, good morning. Y'all got me? We add things into this recipe of life that the recipe does not call for, right? So y'all picture it. The recipe didn't call for me being a little tipsy, going in there trying to make this cake while I need to be in my right mind because I'm making it from scratch, right? I got to make sure I got the right amount of flour. I got to make sure I got the right amount of extract. I got to make sure that I have the right type of cooking utensils and things like that. I got to make sure. But I couldn't make sure because I was already a little tipsy. I got there already on one. I got there already on one. You feel me? And so what happens is a lot of times we don't look at it like that. We don't see it like that, right? The recipe of life is ours. It's our recipe. And of course, you have to tweak it for who you are. But if we're watching everybody else over here do it, and then we say, okay, I'm going to do it just like you, it's going to have to be your own, right? But you will know what you can and cannot do. What I know is I can't drink before I bake a cake. That part I know. Now, it may work for other people, and other people may sip a little something, but let me tell you, once my cake is in the oven and my cake is on its way to be done, then I'll take a little sip, a little drink. But not before, because that cake failed. That cake came out the pan. It sunk in the middle. It looked like a tire. The recipe of life, I was not there. And I'm not a big drinker like that, right? But I was having fun. I was at my friend's house. We were, going and having a good time. And I said, my friend wanted a cake. And I said, okay, I'm going to bake a cake. I'm going to use my grandmother's recipe. I know the recipe like the back of my hand. But that cake did not turn out right. Did not. And they were all asking me, Titan, what's going on? Titan, what's wrong? That ain't never happened. Out of the 1,500 up cakes I done made, it has never failed. It's never sunk in. It's never came out of the pan. Like it was a lot. It was a lot, y'all. And so what I thought about, I said to myself, right, well, I can't do that. I watch other people bake and do this and do that. I watch other people, walk around and they tips. Get somewhere and sit down, Titan. Get somewhere and sit down. You're going to bake this cake, then you're going to bake this cake before you get a little tipsy, before you go this way. You're going to bake this cake and you're going to make sure that it's good. Because I don't want to disrespect my grandmother's recipe. And number two, I don't want to disrespect myself. I know what I'm doing, right? I know what I'm doing. But do I really? Do I really? Do I really? The recipe of life, y'all, the recipe of life. What we do is we go throughout this world with a recipe for our life. We add ingredients into our lives, and sometimes those ingredients already have an expiration date. Y'all hold on with me. You hold on with me. I was in the store, right? Picking up eggs and picking up flour and sugar and things like that. But what you do is that you notice that certain things that go into your cake, certain things, you look at what you have. The eggs got to be good, right? The butter got to be right. If you put milk or if you put cream or whatever you put into it, right? Some of these things that you are picking up and putting in your basket so that you can have a good time for this recipe, some of them have an expiration date of tomorrow. And I don't know if you want those ingredients. Some of them have an expiration date of last week. Y'all with me? Y'all understand where I'm going with this? Some of you are picking up things, right, that the ingredients are not good for the cake that you're making today. They may have been good for the cake that you made 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But now you know what you need to pick up, what ingredients you need to pick up to put in this cake, right? So hold on. I have been through some things. I have done some things. And this is how this recipe, get it? My cake is homemade. My cake is homemade, right? All ingredients are fresh. I pick the ingredients myself to make sure that this cake is going to be the bomb diggity. I make sure, right? But what we have to understand is that sometimes we go with this recipe of life that we're going to do this recipe and then we're going to have this recipe and then we don't bake a cake for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Now you got to check the ingredients to make sure that they are still good. Now you got to check the ingredients to make sure that you have enough to sustain you for this cake. Now somebody has said, hey, Titan, can you bake me a cake? Hey, Titan, can you bake me a cake? Now I got to go and look and make sure that I got enough ingredients to bake 2 or 3 cakes. And here's the thing. It's not nothing wrong with a box cake. Bake your box cake life. Do you? But when you are doing this, think about your life. I am picking the ingredients for this recipe. I am picking my village, my tribe, my gang, and my chosen family. I am picking my mental health, right? I am making a choice to make sure that my health is good, my spiritual, my mental, my emotional. I am picking these items for this recipe. So yesterday I had a conversation with someone and they told me, well, Titan, you are always talking about this baking that you do and this and that. I'm gonna have to test it out and stuff like that. And I said, well, you already tested it. You already had my cake. Well, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. At the event that we had, that cake that everybody was eating on, that you ate on, that you had 2 or 3 pieces of, that was my cake. What? Wait a minute. No. They said that there's some that came from a bakery. Y'all, I'm not making this up. This person told me this, but I didn't tell the person whose cake was who or what. When I went to the event, I brought 2 cakes in. So a friend of mine, I call him my brother, Ian. Ian doesn't like all the icing and stuff on the cake, right? So I brought in a cake plain. But the other cake, I put icing on, I cut it up, drowned it with icing, made sure that you was going to be in a river. Cry me a river of icing. That's the way I do it. Look, homemade icing too. I'm making it myself. So I'm doing this, and then this person is saying, oh, well, can you make me one? And I was saying, well, wait a minute, because let's talk about what you just said. You said that was no way that could have been my cake because it was too good. And so, y'all, this is what I want to say to y'all. In this recipe of life, when you get the ingredients, right, when you get the ingredients that are you, when you tweak it so that it's you, that you make it feel good, and you put in all that energy and that love and that essence into what you are doing in this recipe, somebody's going to think that it's not yours because it's too good to be yours because of what their perception of you is. Hold on. I'm going to put my glasses on because I don't think y'all hear me. This person thought that cake was somebody else's cake. This person didn't believe that I could have made that cake, right? Because the cake was homemade, or the cake felt good, and it was buttery, and it was rich, and it was a pound cake. It was heavy. And I said, that was me. There's no way. But then other people came up and said, oh, yeah, that was Titan. Titan always make those cakes. Titan always do this here. Titan, I be trying to get Titan to come out of retirement to start baking the cakes again because they are really good. But it's that recipe, right, that my grandmother gave me. It's that recipe of putting the ingredients in one at a time. It's that recipe to make sure that you're mixing them in to the life, right, that you need. I could have poured everything in at the same time and mixed it up. It could have had eggshells. It could have had this. It could have had that. I had to do the ingredients one at a time. I had to see how me inputting the ingredients into this recipe, how it was going to turn out. Was it going to be lumpy? Was it going to be smooth? What's the consistency? What is it that I need to do for this recipe? Y'all with me this morning? And so I had to tell this person, I'm not sitting up here bragging or boasting or anything like that, but I'm making this from scratch. This is mine, right? And I'm not going to shortchange you. I'm not going to sit up here and brag about something and say this and that. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the table. Make sure it's cute when it's on the table. Make sure it looks good. Presentation is everything. And then I'm going to let you eat. I'm going to tell you that it's better if you get you a cup of milk. If you like milk, that's what you do. Or coffee. Or some ice cream. And it's a pound cake. When I put it into the container, when you pick it up, it's a pound cake. You can lift. You can do your biceps. Because it's a pound cake. It's heavy. And that's the way it is. Now, some of you may be talking about gluten-free. Some of you may be talking about sugar-free. That's not my ministry. That's not my ministry. You're going to get all of that right there. Covered by God's grace said, right, that part. People judging you without knowing you. And that part. And so I'm going to go back, covered by God's grace. I'm going to go back because I judged my grandmother's recipe without knowing the recipe. Oh, y'all didn't catch that. Y'all gonna catch that in the parking lot. Y'all gonna catch that. Hey, the king. The king said, "Good morning, positive king. Good morning. Good morning to you all." Let me tell you, I did not trust, right, her recipe because I was already saying I could do it better. Who's gonna waste all this time? Who's gonna do that? And so sometimes people would ask me, "Well, Titan, why don't you bake all the time?" I have to be in the mood. I have to be in the mood. I have to be in that moment. I have to be in that spirit to be like, okay, you know what? I'm finna crank these cakes out. I put on my music. I'm dancing. I'm living. I'm loving. I'm doing all this stuff like that, right? And it really doesn't take me long to do the recipe, but it's the point of knowing the recipe of life. I had to make sure that what I was doing was right. There were some trials and errors because remember, I put all those eggs in that mixture and mixed them all up. And my grandmother said, no, that's not how the recipe, right, came to be. It had to have a foundation, the recipe of life. And so I take that me standing there, mixing those things in, making sure I have the right amount, making sure that my cake batter is the right consistency, making sure that I put the soda or the extract or whatever it is into that cake, and that I am what's the word I'm looking for? I am making sure that my recipe is successful. Does that make sense? Because y'all know I said I went to Atlanta and I had that one time the recipe was not successful, and we can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have that. So I'm talking to, I don't know who I'm talking to right here. Whoever you are right here, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me because this is what I know. This recipe of life is yours, and you put the ingredients into this recipe. There will be ingredients coming into this recipe that you don't need. Set them aside. Set them aside. There will be things that will happen while you are baking this cake, while you are making this love language, while you are doing this recipe that you don't need in there. There will be times that you crack an egg and an eggshell may fall in. You just scoop it out because on the backside, on the other side, when it's done, it may give somebody the wrong idea that you don't know what you're doing because your cake is a little crunchy. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. So this person I was talking to on yesterday said, well, what do you mean the recipe of life? I'm doing this. I'm good. But I'm saying that we are the recipe of life. I am in control of the ingredients that I put into this recipe. I'm in control of how much I put into this recipe. My life. Those days are gone to where, like I told you, that I'm going to drink before. Like I like a little drink here or there, but I knew better. Why was I drinking before I started to make this cake? Because in making this cake and doing this recipe of my life, I have to have a clear head. I got to understand where I'm going. I got to know what I can tolerate. I got to understand that certain things don't agree with me like they agree with other people. So I can't play that game while I'm trying to make something of my life. Y'all got me? While I'm trying to make something of my life, I can't play with you like that. I can't do it. That's not my ministry. That's not for me to do. So I'm going to put this recipe together, but I'm going to make sure the ingredients that I am putting in are for me and that they're going to make this cake, this recipe great. But I cannot expect my recipe, my life, the recipe of life to be good and to be great. And I'm constantly putting in things that have expired. I'm constantly putting in things, the ingredients that are not good, that are not fresh, that are not there for my recipe. I'm constantly cracking eggs and shells going into my batter, and I'm not dipping them out. I'm not taking them out. The recipe of life. I'm just going to bake the cake however I want to bake the cake, and then that's what I'm going to do. Representation. I'm the cake. I'm the recipe. This is my life. So I have to make sure that I'm good with that. Not good for you, good for me. You feel me? Y'all feel me this morning? Let me know if I'm talking out the side of my neck because y'all a little quiet this morning. Let me know. Covered by God's grace, and that is just what we did as children, young adults. Even though our parents and other adults told us we had to do it our way before we understood their way was the correct way. And that is so right. A lot of times what we do is that we don't heed the warning. Now, let's be real. I don't do it the same way that my grandmother did it back then, because my grandmother had different types of baking utensils, ovens, things like that. So we have come a long way, but the base of the recipe is me. It's my grandmother. It's been handed down. The foundation is there. So to the person that I was talking to on yesterday, you don't have to do what they do, right? There's millions and billions of people on this earth that are doing the same thing, but just in their own way. Your recipe is your recipe. My grandmother gave me the recipe. It was up to me to what I do with it. Titan, don't put all those eggs in there at the same time. Don't do that. Oh no, I'm gonna put them in crack, 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 and I'm a mixing, and I'm a mixing. I'm mixing up that batter. I'm mixing up that batter, and then my cake said, "Phew." Now, some of you say, Titan, that's old school. We don't do that. But around here, my recipe of life has a little bit of old school in it. It has a little bit of that old school education. It has a little bit of that old school, those words of wisdom. Keeps me grounded, my foundation. Bamboo said, you're standing on the foundation. That part. Now, y'all heard me say that I've tweaked the recipe, right? Because I like it this way. And it has shown to be good to others, right? However, the foundation is the foundation. My grandmother gave me the foundation. And so at that point, I took what she had and trial and error, and then I saw how I could elevate it, right? Or change it or tweak it so that it would fit me. Because the same thing that she did at that time, I don't necessarily do. That's it. That's it. That's it. My aunt, right? My aunt Cynthia says, you always making those fighting cakes. And I said, well, what are fighting cakes? She said, people are always fighting over them. And I do it because it's a love language, right? It's a way that my grandmother used to express her love to the family and to people. And I love that. I love having dinner with people. I love sitting at a table. I love breaking bread, as the old folks used to say, right? With people. And so my way of bringing people together is food and baking and a Titan Capri experience. That's what I do. But it's the recipe of life. I would have never known what my recipe of life was if I would have constantly kept doing the recipe the same way that I was doing it. Even though I was told not to do it that way, I would have never made it here. I would have never made it here. The recipe of life. Knowledge. Right? Knowing the recipe, knowing your life, ingredients, knowing the ingredients that goes into this life that you have, right? The recipe of life, know the ingredients, and then the execution. How do I execute this? How do I make this a great cake? How do I make this recipe the bomb digging? How do I do that? Well, I do that by knowing what the foundation is and knowing what I can put into my life. Knowing how to use this, knowing how to be. That's what I do. Hey, Spooky, good morning. Good morning, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful day. Good morning. Same to you. Same to you. Look, and that's what we're talking about. Y'all, I come on here and I talk with you all and I'm expressing myself, but this has been a lot of a recipe. I had to add ingredients in, right? Those trials and tribulations, those parts of my life where I was up and down and I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I had been spun around, you know, trying to get my feet back on the ground. I think that's a song somewhere. All of that is part of my recipe of life. If you are standing right now, right? Hold on. Hear me. Hold on. Wait a minute. Is that it? Oh, hold on. That's it. That's the sip right there. If you are standing in the middle of your recipe of life, your life, and chaos and destruction is happening all around you, look at the recipe. Because the recipe, at some point, you've allowed an ingredient in that had an expiration date. You've allowed an ingredient in that is spoiled. You have allowed those eggshells into that batter, and now it's crunchy. You have allowed that. This is your recipe. You know the foundation. Am I good right here? Should I be here? This is what I'm doing. Okay, I added this ingredient into my life, to this recipe, and it was not good. So I don't want to do that again, right? But I added too much of this ingredient, right? And it took my recipe this way. You feel me? The recipe of life. You are sitting there now looking at the ingredients, your life, your family, your friends, right? The job that you have, the place that you're at. These are ingredients to your life in this recipe. And you are looking at it and you are saying, okay, expiration date, it has expired. It is no good. It's sour. Move them out of your recipe. Take them out of your life, because that recipe is you. You got to be good with that recipe. It's homemade. It's the building blocks. I built this recipe. This is my life. Mine. And if my recipe turns out to be bad, it's because I added those ingredients into the recipe that were not supposed to be there. I didn't follow the recipe the way that I should have. I'm going to go a little bit further this morning. I'm going to go a little bit further. You hurting. You're angry. Trauma has reared its ugly head in your life again and again and again. You're asking why? Why me? Why me? It's the recipe. It's the recipe. You've added these ingredients into your life. Now, we know that certain things happen. We know that. And so we're not going to even trip and say that, you're in control of that. Life is going to life. We know that. But what you think about here is, this is my recipe. This is my life. If it's not good for me, I don't want to invite it in. I don't want to add it to the mixture. And if I have added it to the mixture, it's not serving the recipe the way that it should, then I need to remove it. And this is the key. Y'all know how when you crack eggs, right? The shell sometimes may fall in. And because the shell is white and the batter is kind of off-white or yellowish or whatever, the eggshell may go in and you may not be able to find it for a little while, right? You might not be able to find it for a little while. But then the cake is done. You slice it, you give it to somebody, and they crunch on that eggshell. So what do? For the next time you make this cake, well, you make sure that you don't hold the eggs over the bowl of batter. You make sure you crack the egg, right? Get it out clearly, and then put it into your mixture. Y'all, I'm laughing because I put all them eggs in that mixture back then, and I thought I was the bomb. I thought like, oh, I got this. Grandma, you don't know what you're talking about. Watch how I do this. I'm going to cut your time in half and da-da-da-da-da. And bam. She didn't even say, I told you so. You know what she did? This is what she did. Mm-hmm. And I already knew what that meant. She said, mm-hmm. Hey, Tatum Kathy, good morning. I already knew what that meant. I already knew what she meant by that. The look itself gave that to boom. Sometimes I come on these platforms, and I speak my truth. And I speak, well, not sometimes, almost all the time. But sometimes what we do is that we don't heed these warnings. On Tuesday, I talked about a season, a reason, a season, and a lifetime. In this recipe of life, we have put the ingredients into our life, making them part of this recipe when it didn't call for that ingredient. That ingredient is not good. That ingredient is old. It's spoiled, right? That ingredient been sitting over there in that corner for 5 years, just taking up space. You haven't been using the ingredient all this time. Why do you need it now? Why do you need it now? And a lot of times what we do is we say, oh, I need it because it's there, right? It's there. I'm hoarding this. I'm keeping all of this trash and this baggage and all of this stuff. I need it now, but you don't need it. It's not part of your recipe. You have been living your life without it for all these years. Why are you adding it into the recipe now? This is your life. You go over there and pick it up. Why? Because it's comfortable? Why? Because it's there? Why? Because it has to have a use? No, throw it away. Be done with it. After COVID hit, me and my moms would go back and forth about this, and she probably going to listen to this and be like, okay now, but we would go back and forth. If something was close, if we had it for a week or 3 days and I felt like it wasn't fresh, I was throwing it out. My mama was here with me. She had got some groceries one time and I put them into the refrigerator. And Thursday came around. I was getting ready for Friday, trash day. And I was in that refrigerator just tossing stuff. And my mama said, baby, I just got that like 2 days ago. And I was like, oops, my bad. Not part of my recipe, not part of my life, because we know that COVID came in and things were going bad quickly and fast. They were going fast, right? And a lot of times what we do is that we don't understand that we don't need these ingredients. In your house right now, there are some ingredients, right, that are just sitting there and been sitting there for years on top of years, and you haven't used them. You come across them, but you won't throw them out. You just move them to another location. Still cluttering up your life. Still don't use them for the recipe. But they are there as a reminder, right? As a reminder of what? People will say, oh, well, it's sentimental. Is it really sentimental? Really? And then one day you walk into your life getting ready to execute this recipe that you love so much, and you figure out it's cluttered. It's too much. I don't need this. Now I'm stressing out. Now I have anxiety. Now I'm feeling some kind of way because I have kept these ingredients that I don't need. That are not serving a purpose. They're just there because I added these ingredients to my recipe of life and I didn't need them. Bamboo said, you just stepped on my whole foot, sir. Let me tell you, sometimes y'all look. I started this platform. I started my Titan Capri experience, my Titan in the morning. I had a couple of different iterations of my Titan Capri experience, right? But in everything that I do, I always tell you that I can't tell you nothing I don't know nothing about. I'm going to speak from the truth, like they say, from the horse's mouth. I'm stepping on your foot, Bamboo. I'm stepping on my own. Because one day you're going to walk into your life, into your house. You're going to walk in to do this recipe to make the greatest cake or pie or whatever it may be in your life. And you're going to look around and you're going to be like, when did I get all of this? Why is this here? And then at that point, I don't know if your anxiety going to be up or you're just going to be like disgusted, but you're going to be like, I don't even want to make the cake no more because of all of this, right? And my grandmother was one of those people that she did not cook or bake in a dirty kitchen. Like it did not happen. So just think about the dirty kitchen being your life. You didn't clutter up this kitchen, and you're going to go in there and you're going to crank out these cakes and these recipes, and you're going to just make it happen, make it great, make it good, but you can't because it's cluttered. The kitchen is dirty. And then now you are at a point to where you're cleaning, right? And you don't want to make the recipe right now because now you're cleaning, now you're tired. But if you would have checked those ingredients, if you would have checked those expiration dates, if you would have checked whether or not it was spoiled or whether it was still good, boom, you wouldn't have to worry about that. You wouldn't be too tired to do the recipe of your life. But if you are constantly putting in ingredients that you don't need, the recipe will fail every single time because you don't need that. The last time you added them in, that person that's sleeping in your house, that person that's constantly asking for money, that person that's constantly stabbing you in the back, that person that's constantly telling you that you are not going to be, you are not great, you can't do. You constantly keep adding them into the recipe, so the recipe will never be good. And now you're sitting here looking at your dirty kitchen. Them, they, he, she, mama, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin. You're looking at them as they're the problem in your dirty kitchen. You're the problem because you brought them into this recipe. It's time for them to go. It's time for them to go. It's time for you to get into your kitchen, get into your life, and construct this recipe, execute this recipe, make sure that you are good with this recipe, right, of your own life. Y'all with me? It's your time. It's your time. The recipe of life. If you are going to bake a cake, bake a pie, make some food, do whatever it is you're going to do, right? What's the recipe? What's the recipe? Do you have the ingredients? Are they fresh? Do the ingredients have an expiration date on them? Have you overlooked the expiration date and they just sitting over there in the corner? And then the execution. How you going to do it? How you going to do it? And when you're ready to cook and you're ready to bake and you don't have the ingredients, now you got to go out to the store. Now you got to order. Now you got to order from the grocery store or do, delivery or whatever it is. Now you got to wait on this recipe when you should have already had the ingredients. You should have already made sure. You should have done inventory. Okay, I'm going to make this cake. What do I need? I know I need flour. I know I need sugar. I know I need butter. I know I need extract. I know I need eggs. I know I need all of these things, right? But I also know that I need to be in my right mind and in my right spirit, and I need to be in the mood. I can't bake. I can't do this recipe of my life if I'm constantly in turmoil. It doesn't work like that. And people used to say, well, Titan, are you serious? Like you really have to be in the mood to make the, yes. Because what you're not doing, what you're not going to do is just bake something just because. You're going to bake it because you're going to add love into it, right? You're going to add care into it. You're going to make sure that it's good. So when you put it out there, people are going to grasp hold to it. Like that person was at that event. They were tearing that cake up. Didn't know it was me. And I said, well, yeah, you did. You had my cake. Yeah, you did. Well, no, I didn't because, no, that cake that looked like a crown, because I call it a king cake, looked like a crown. I had sliced it up and I had drizzled all of that icing on it 10 times over. That was your cake? Yep, that was it. And here's the other thing, too. And I'm going to say this because I'm going to get out of here because I'm past time. Here's the other thing. In this recipe of life, you do not have to give your recipe to everybody. And this is where we get into an issue and a problem. We are out here giving out our recipe with coupons. You get one, you get one, buy one, get one free. You get the recipe. You get the no. That's your recipe. That's yours. That's yours. I don't gatekeep what the recipe is, right? But I know how I make it. And here's the part that gets you. If somebody gets your recipe, that's fine. But they are not going to be able to do your recipe the way that you do your recipe, because you're going to take that extra step. You're going to make sure that it's great, that it's good. That's the difference between your recipe and my recipe. My recipe of life is my life. That part. And a lot of times people want to tell you, oh, well, I got the recipe and I can do this. Well, you do you. I'm not in competition with you and your recipe. That's not my life. Why would I need to be in competition with you about a recipe that's mine? You take it and do whatever you want to do with it. Like I said, I took my grandmother's recipe and I tweaked it, right? It was hers, the foundation, right? I got the foundation and then I tweaked it for me. But the foundation was solid. I understood how to construct or how to execute that recipe. Now I had to take it and make it mine. Period. Okay, TikTok, y'all tap the middle of that screen over there. Let me know that y'all are in. Blow their hearts up. Tippity tip, 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 tap. Bamboo said, know this, you can't make premium products with generic ingredients. So, I remember being young and I had this friend of mine that always wanted to cheat, right? Always wanted to do it this way. Always wanted to not take their time and not do it the right way, right? And it was always a problem. It was always an issue. And I said to them, but why would you not? Hey, Depot, good morning. All right, Depot said, you're great, man. Thank you so much. Over there on Podbean, all right? And I would always say, well, why don't we do it like this? Because this is the way that we do it. Then once we get the hang of it, we can change it. You know what I mean? We can do this. We can do that. And they were like, oh, well, we're going to do this. So they would always fail. So when I took over doing what we were doing at the time, I started doing it this way. And then they was like, well, why you always make it? Why are you always on point like that? And I was like, because I did it the right way first. Look, there is a lesson. There's a teaching moment, a teachable moment in this, right? How do I do this? Now, what worked for you may not work for me, but what's the foundation? What's the 1, 2, 3? Let me go ahead and do that first. And then I'll say, okay, well, now that I've done that, now that I know I got the foundation, now let me go over here and do this. Hey, Shay, good morning. Hey, good morning. Let me go over here and do this. And that's how I do it. But a lot of us, right? A lot of us, and I'm going to speak, let me just do I statement. I used to try to beat the clock. I got to do it this way. I got to do it that way, right? And then people will start asking for my recipe for my cake and things like that I'm doing. And then they'll try to tell me how I need to bake it. But I didn't get here by you telling me how to bake it. I was baking it first. Now you've come into it. Now you're going to tell me to switch it up and to change it. And I'm saying, no, that's not yours. That's mine. Why am I changing it? If you want to do the recipe, you do the recipe. But my recipe of life is mine. And then let me ask you this. Y'all come here. Who is it? Keisha says, same ingredients, different kinds of preparations will render different tastes. Absolutely, that part. This is what I want you to do. In your life right now, is somebody telling you that your thing that you're doing, that you need to change it, you need to shift it to meet them? Somebody said to me here recently, or earlier this year, I love your show. I love your platform. I love what you do. Tighten in the morning. I love all of that, right? But you could do this and switch it up. And I said to myself, in that moment, I thought about it, right? Because there was a time when I was reaching out to people. There was a time when I was asking for help. There was a time when I didn't know about the platforms and the different this and different that. And you didn't have nothing for me, right? You didn't have anything for me. When I stopped using everybody else and went out on my own and started doing this, and it took a little while, right, for me to gain some traction. Now I got y'all in my village, my tribe, my gang, and my chosen family. Now you want to tell me how I should do my recipe. And I'm saying, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You are listening to a show or to my platform that I've built from the ground up, brick by brick, on my own, right? On my own. I started doing this. People were telling me, no, don't do that sip and not a slurp. Don't do that, right? Don't do the breath, right? Don't breathe. Don't do, but I was like, but this is Titan. This is what I do. I'm not like everybody else, right? And then now that I have elevated, now that I got my people with me, now that y'all are behind me saying, hey, Titan, we got you. We gonna, you know what? We support you. We like you. I understand what you are doing. Now that I'm getting that, now that I'm getting all the views, now that I'm getting my platform is vibing out and everybody is coming to be a part of it, right? The follows, the like, the subscribing. And y'all, I'm not bragging on this. I'm saying that it was my recipe. And I put ingredients into my recipe that shouldn't have been there because I saw them doing it and I wanted them to show me how to do it, right? You didn't have to show me, but you could, you know, like, hey, you know, da, da, da. So what I did, I went back to that foundation and I started doing the recipe the way that I know how. The way that I know how, the gifts that God gave me, the blessings that I have. That's what I did. And now that I'm over here, now that you know me a little bit, I'm over here talking and I'm here and there and this and that. Now you want to be a part of that recipe, but I don't need you to be part of that recipe. Back when I was struggling, back when I couldn't make it, back when I was doing all of these things, you told me that I needed to change my recipe because it did not fit well for you. For you. For you. But what about me? Was it something that I was? Maybe this was my blessing. Maybe this was my God's gift. Maybe this was, no, but you told me that's not going to work. That's not going to happen. So I don't know who this is for this morning over here. Your recipe of life. You have something that you want. No, hold on. Come here, because I don't want to point fingers, y'all. Y'all know I talk with my hands sometimes. I want to say this to this individual right here because it's for you and it's for me as well. You are standing on something. You are sitting on something. You are thinking of something. You are building something. And I want you to go ahead and execute that recipe. You have got the ingredients right here. You got the ingredients. Now it's time for you to bake that recipe. Now it's time for you to make that recipe and hit it. People are going to tell you, no, you can't do it. No, you can't do it. No, that's not what it is. But I want to tell you that you can. Get those ingredients. Figure out which ingredients work with which ingredients. Figure out how you can execute this. Figure out the right temperature. Figure out where you need to be. Figure out what you need to do. And then move and go forward. And I know one of y'all watching me this morning, somebody just told you that what your idea was not going to make it. Somebody just said that to you. And if I'm lying, I'm flying, but y'all see I'm sitting down. Somebody just told you that you are not good. You are not great. You are not going to be able to do that. You need to do it like this. Somebody just rained on your parade. Somebody just shut you down. They are not part of the recipe. They are not the ingredient. Now, if they told you, right, how you can get to that next level, but not in a condescending way. Because this person said to me, well, Titan, well, that's not what that is, because, you're not going to be able to do that, and you're not going to be able to have. And I was crushed. I was like, so my Titan in the morning is not a good idea? Be careful of the recipes of life from other people, because some people don't have your best interests at heart, and their recipe is not yours. The recipe my grandmother had was for me, because she was passing it down. But remember, it's that foundation. She wasn't going to tell me anything wrong. She wasn't going to teach me something that was going to have me fail. She wanted me to succeed, but she had to let me make my own decision. She had to let me fall first by putting all those eggs in at the same time before the recipe made sense. This person told me that the recipe was no good, period. But I was like, no, this is what I'm doing. No, this is what I'm doing. I was on the radio and I'm doing this and all of that. The recipe came. I had never thought that I would have been part of a radio show. I never thought that I'd have had a platform as such, any of this. I never thought I would have met the people that I've met along my way that have lifted me up, that have supported me, because I've done the same for them. That recipe. So when you start picking those ingredients, those friends, that family, that village, that tribe, that gang, and that chosen, when you start picking those ingredients, understand, you pick your friends like you pick your fruit. You're not going to pick no bad fruit. If you see a worm coming out of it, if the fruit is spoiled or the fruit is rotten, you don't want that. But sometimes fruit look good until you bite into it or you cut into it, and then you know it's bad. But that's how you choose your ingredients. You choose them by way of choose. You know how you sometimes thump on the watermelon, bump, 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 or you squeeze a lemon or a tomato. People used to always say, "Oh, don't squeeze it, don't do this." But how do you pick your ingredients like you pick your friends, like you pick your fruit? Period. Hey, Johnny, good morning. Johnny says, good morning and John, thanks. Indeed, Johnny, glad to see you in. Thank you. Hey, Willie. Willie said, your recipe not like mine. The reason my drink tastes different is because I use Grey Goose and you use that Taco Vodka. Willie, you so messy. You know that Taco Vodka ain't right. Look, nothing against Taco Vodka, y'all. For those who drink it, but we know Grey Goose versus Taco. You know. Hey, Erica, good morning. Willie, you so messy. Oh, you're messy. Keisha said, both views are needed and important. When people don't see your vision, it's okay. It's not theirs. That part. A turtle cannot see what a giraffe can see. A giraffe can't see what a turtle can. Same thing. But what did God say about you? He said, you are greater. That part. I talk about turtles and giraffes. Okay, Keisha? Hey, Frida, good morning. Frida said, hi, good morning. Good morning. What works for you won't hold the light to me. That part, Keisha, say that. So, y'all, I'm past time already. I know, so I want to say this before I get out of here, this recipe of life. So I've been on this platform and doing this type of work and things like that, right? And sometimes what happens is that we get discouraged because we don't see the numbers and we don't see, the following and things like that. We see people in this world that are doing harm, doing nasty, doing pretty much nothing, and they have thousands and millions of followers and viewers and all of this stuff like that. And so my spirit told me to talk about this, right? You may get discouraged that you are not there. But again, that recipe is not yours. You follow your dream. You follow your aspirations the way that you have to follow them. Sometimes you won't have all the views. Sometimes you won't have all the fanfare. Sometimes you won't have that. But stay true to who you are. Stay true to that recipe that you're doing what you were put on this earth to do, what you were called to do. And it will come. It will come to you. It will do that. People will tell you, oh, well, you got to do this. Oh, well, you got to be mean and nasty, or you got to be cute, or you got to, let the children have it and do all this kind of stuff in order to be relevant. You do not have to do that. When I first started doing this, people were saying, oh, well, you just need to do current topics and talk about the mess and talk about the celebrities and do it. And I was like, I don't want to do that. Now, I do mention here and there things that are going on in the world and what's going on because it affects me like it affects you. However, that was not my thing. That wasn't my ministry. Y'all know I always say this. That's not my ministry. So I don't do that. God put me on this earth for another reason. And I had to find my footing. I had to find my space and my place. And so I want to encourage you, whoever you are out there that are trying to do this and things look grim, things look like they're not going, they're not doing, stay true to who you are. Know the recipe, know the ingredients, know who you're trying to reach, but be you, be you. Stay who you are, be who you are, be who God made you, and understand that things are not always going to be peachy clean. You're going to have to go through some things in life. But this recipe that you're building needs to have a strong foundation, a firm foundation. And then you add in the ingredients to bake this cake called life. The recipe of life is yours. I'm moving and shaking now. But a year ago, I was not there. But I stayed true to it. I stayed consistent. I made sure that every time you saw Titan, it was Titan. That's what it was. There used to be a time that I would come onto these platforms and I would have 3 viewers or 3 views. No likes, no nothing. And somebody years ago asked me, why are you still doing this? And it's kind of like I said, God said I had a purpose. My purpose was to do this. Oh, well, you should be doing this and doing that. No. One thing that I do know about the recipe of life, it needs to be consistent. If I can give you anything this morning on this recipe of life, be consistent. Make sure that you are doing it consistently and you're doing it here, not subpar. You up here and you cranking it out and you doing it. Y'all know every Tuesday and Thursday, y'all gonna see me and we're gonna sip and we're gonna have fun and we're gonna do. But you got to be consistent because I can't trust you if I see you every now and then, this and that. The recipe can't be completed if I saw you January and I see you again in April and I see you again in October. I can't fill the recipe like that. But I told you all that I was going to be here every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. And by God, that's what I'm going to do. And that's where I'm going to be. And for those that were going to come in, they're going to come in and they're going to rock with me till the tires are flat and we ain't going nowhere. That's what they're going to do. But I have been consistent. My recipe is consistent. When I bake those cakes, it's consistent. When I show up in my community, when I show up for these things, I am consistent on who I am and what I am and how I show up. Period. It's the recipe of life. And how dare somebody step into your recipe and tell you that your recipe is wrong? It's your recipe. And be wary of those that come out the woodwork now that your recipe is popping and they want to tell you that you could change your recipe because now your recipe is no good. But that's them. They wasn't with you when you was in there in the back. They wasn't with you down in the ditch and in the mud. They wasn't with you then. But now your recipe is popping. Your life is on point. You've been seen everywhere. You're being heard. People are asking for you to come there. Now they want to tell you about your recipe. Kick rocks. Go do what you do. That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. The recipe of life is yours. It's yours. 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 You are the holder of that recipe. It has a good foundation and you build on it. You get this ingredient, oh, that's not going to work. Toss it out. Don't go sit it over there on that counter. Put it in the trash and take it out for trash day because you don't need it. And be wary about those people that are in your life that are standing right next to you and saying, oh, well, that's never going to work. And they're not even doing what you're doing. Their life is in turmoil. Y'all with me this morning? Okay. 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 Keisha said, I keep on because I'm a giraffe in this situation. That part right there. That part right there. Okay, look. Indeed, Johnny. Indeed. Thank you. Hey, Paula. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Look, y'all. The topic this morning was the recipe of life, right? Y'all do me a favor. Y'all go ahead on TikTok, tap the middle of that screen, tip, tap, blow those hearts up. Make sure that I'm getting all the love and everything that I need in that. Make sure that I am good. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Insta. I keep saying Twitter, y'all. I know it's X. Insta, Podbean. Y'all show me some hearts. Y'all show me some love. Y'all show me all of that. Like, follow, share, do all of that good stuff. And look, the recipe of life, y'all, like, man, be careful. Be careful. I don't want nobody to make you feel that your dreams are not obtainable, right? You can do this. A lot of times people will tell you that you cannot because they couldn't. The recipe of life. Get that foundation, do what you do, and make sure. Hey, Chill Positivity. Good morning. Hey, good morning. Okay, tight in the morning. I love that. Good morning. Bamboo say, you couldn't ride in my struggles. You can't ride in my victory. That part, right? And a lot of times people will say, oh, well, Titan, you've changed. Oh, well, you know, Bamboo, you different. Oh, no. I know what the recipe of life is, right? I done been up and down. I done been turned upside down. I get it. So now I don't do what I used to do. I'm not listening to you like that because I got my own recipe. I know where I'm at. I know what I'm doing. I know. All right, y'all, the recipe of life. That's what it is today. Look, I just want to say this to you. If nobody told you today, nobody told you yesterday, last week, last month, or last year, I want to tell you that I love you right where you're at in this moment. I love you right where you're at in this moment. You will have other moments, but you will not have this moment, right? We don't want to think about it. You don't have to ask for it. You don't have to return it with a receipt, but I love you right where you're at in this moment. Take those hands of yours, those arms of yours, and if you can't do it physically, do it mentally, emotionally, do it spiritually, and wrap those arms around you. And what I want you to do is I want you to replace your name in where my name is, and I want you to say this to yourself, right? I want you to say this to yourself, and I just wanted you to say it out to the universe. I want you to look into your laptop, look into your phone, look into your mirror, look to the floor, look to the ceiling, look to the universe, and I want you to say, Titan, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Put your name where my name is. I love you right where you're at in this moment, flaws and all. I might not have it all. Things may not be great in my life, but I'm here and I love myself right where I'm at in this moment. And what's key is this moment. We're not talking about in the future. We're not talking about the past. We're talking about right now in this moment. I love you right where you're at in this moment. I love you right where you're at in this moment. Bamboo, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Kimber, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Keisha, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Greg, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Johnny, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Chill Positivity, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Paula, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Let's see. Frida, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Erica, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Willie, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Tatum Kathy, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Willie Mingo, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Iris, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Shay Shay, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Let's see here. Spooky, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Covered by God's grace, I love you right where you're at in this moment. The King, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Q, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Kale, I love you right where you're at in this moment. AJ, Red, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Let's see here. Jasmine, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Joseph, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Riri, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Jumping Jehoshaphat, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Hey, Nana Hen, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Dola, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Carlicia, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Good morning to you all. I love you all right where you're at in this moment. And this is what I want to say to you. You don't have to be what people think you should be. You be who you are. That's the recipe. That's the recipe of life. God didn't make a mistake. You were not put on this earth, right, to be a doormat, people to wipe their feet on you. You were put on this earth to grow and to prosper and to be. And in this recipe of life, life is going to life. Life is life, and it's going to happen. But you got to understand what the ingredients are. And some of the ingredients have an expiration date, and you should have been there through them out. Period on that. Johnny says, I'm new and we'll be looking for you on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, Johnny, come through. Come through. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for tuning in. I love you right where you're at in this moment. Come on, Johnny. That's what I'm talking about. Come on and be a part of this village, this tribe, this gang, and chosen family. Look, y'all, every Tuesday and Thursday, it's Titan in the morning. I'm here for y'all at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, if you cannot, right, I would love for you to be here. But if you cannot be here at 8 in the morning, come in whatever time you come, because it's normally from 8 to 9, 8 to 9:30, around that time. But also, you can always catch the replay. You can always catch me on all social media, Titan Capri. I love you. I love you. I love you. Be good to yourself, right? There's only one constant in this world that I believe, and it's love. And we need more of it. We need more of it. We need to be able to love ourselves and love our friends, love our family, love our village, our tribe, our gang, and our chosen family. We got to be able to love each other. Y'all do that. All right? Let's see here. Chill Positivity says, thank you, Titan. Love received and sent back with the return address. Come on, it's yours. We all deserve love. Yes, indeed. I like that right there. Come through. Come through. Wait, I got to say that one more time. Come on. Love received and sent back with a return, without a return address. It's yours. I sent the love to you. I don't need it back like that. It's yours. And it's for you to do what you want to do with it. Come on, Chill Positivity. Come on. We all deserve some love. All right. Jasmine says, love you and have a great weekend. Will do. Keisha said, I love you right where you're at in this moment. Come on. Bamboo said, I love you right back, my friend. Yes, indeed. Y'all, look, this space is an inclusive space. I want you all to come in. Tell a friend, right? Share, like, subscribe, do all of that. We are here for this. This is what we do. This is how we promote. This is how we push. This is how we pull. This is how we grow. We do this, right? Y'all can depend on it. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here. I got some things coming up later on this year, some great things. And so, y'all, I just want to say thank you to you all. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for riding with me. Thank you for staying true to who you are and who you are to me. And I appreciate you and I love you. Y'all do that. All right, TikTok. Before we get out of here, I need y'all to tap the middle of that screen. Tippity tap, tap, tap. Blow them hearts up one last time. YouTube, Facebook, X, Podbean. Y'all show me some thumbs up. Show me some hearts. Show me some love. Show me all of that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, fam. Thank you so much, Nathan. Thank you so much to all of you all over there at Podbean. I see y'all. Thank you all so much. Show me some hearts. Show me some love. Right. Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All of y'all. All of y'all. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Until next time, y'all be good. Be good to yourself. Be good to who you are. Be good. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm here. Let's do it. Okay? Let's do it. I love y'all.